Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're diving right into an incredible, historically overlooked story. We're going to examine the life of a man whose dangerous rescue mission completely challenges our usual definitions of greatness. We are looking at a story hidden right behind the pages of Paul's letter to the Philippians, a narrative that truly reads like quiet heroism. His name might not be widely remembered today, but his actions reveal a deeply interesting perspective on the nature of faithful service.
So what if the greatest acts of faith nearly cost someone their life, and literally no one ever talks about them? Hold on to that thought for a second as we set the stage for our protagonist, Epaphroditus. We're so used to associating greatness with visibility, with public recognition and historic fame. But what if history's most profound moments of devotion were actually completely unseen? This provocative question is the exact lens we need to understand the man we're examining today.
Section 1. The Unseen Hero.
Okay. So according to Paul's letter to the Philippians, Epaphroditus was chosen for a highly specific job: bring crucial assistance to Paul, who is currently locked up in a Roman prison. This meant he had to, step 1, gather a gift from the church in Philippi, step 2, navigate some highly dangerous roads and seas, and step 3, deliver it directly to a prison cell. We have to remember that ancient travel was incredibly unsafe. You had uncertain sea voyages, bandits out on the roads, and the constant, unpredictable threat of illness. Yet Epaphroditus accepted the assignment. He left his home, his church community, and all his comforts just to serve someone in desperate need.
Section 2. A dangerous mission.
You see, Epaphroditus was acting as the literal, physical expression of his church's love. He was doing the hard, invisible work required when service moves beyond just having good intentions and into actual physical risk. He wasn't out there seeking personal gain or trying to build a big name for himself. He was literally carrying their generosity on his shoulders. But then, he almost died. Yeah, his journey took a severe, life-threatening turn. And this wasn't just a minor detour on the itinerary. Something completely unexpected and devastating stopped him right in his tracks.
Section 3. Near Death in Rome.
Imagine being far from home, completely separated from your family, and without any modern medical help as we know it today. That was his reality. Epaphroditus became seriously ill. In a foreign city, surrounded by total uncertainty, he faced the very real possibility that he might never return to his community. The source text actually doesn't sugarcoat this at all. Paul simply describes him as ill near death. He dramatically raises the stakes here to emphasize the deadly reality of this mission. A lot of people are perfectly willing to serve when it's safe or convenient, right? But the text points out something incredibly significant. Epaphroditus continued even when service became deadly. His illness did not cancel his purpose.
But here is the crucial point, what I love to call the empathy twist. It's absolutely fascinating. Epaphroditus was distressed simply because his friends were worried. Think about the profound psychological twist happening here. He is the one lying there near death, yet his heart wasn't centered on his own self-preservation. He was deeply distressed just because he knew his illness had caused concern for his friends back home. This reveals so much about his character in the narrative. He was entirely focused on the well-being of the people he served, even at his lowest moment. Well, eventually we hit the climax of this whole ordeal. The text states that God showed mercy, allowing Epaphroditus to survive. Paul expresses profound gratitude for this, viewing his recovery not just as a lucky break, but as a living, breathing testimony of divine intervention right in the middle of faithful service. According to the letter, it showed that even when faithful people face extreme danger, their lives are held securely. And that brought immense joy to Paul. And because of this, Paul lays down a very specific mandate. He says, honor such men. He urges the church to honor Epaphroditus, not for his rank, not for some fancy title or a position of massive power, but strictly because he came close to death for his mission. Paul is outlining a completely new framework here, where the church is called to deeply value those who give themselves fully to service, especially when that service involves tremendous risk and unseen sacrifice.
Section 4. The true measure of greatness. So what does this all mean for us today? Well, it shifts our focus to the overarching theme of the text, the true measure of greatness. The source material presents a really stark contrast to how society typically operates. Think about it. While the world standard almost always measures greatness by visibility, fame, massive crowds, and big headlines, basically asking how many people see or celebrate your work, the text argues for a completely different standard. In this scriptural framework, greatness is measured by faithfulness in hidden places, ordinary obedience, and personal cost. Epaphroditus' sacrifice wasn't performed on a brightly lit stage. It unfolded on dangerous roads and in silent suffering.
Which brings us to a tough reality, right? Service requires stepping into discomfort. True service is rarely ever safe. It involves absorbing risks so that others can be relieved. Think about Epaphroditus. He became the literal bridge between the Philippians' generosity and Paul's desperate need. And he did it at great personal cost. Sometimes real service demands continuing forward even when your body is weak and the outcome is totally uncertain. So let's bring this home for a second. Think about modern, unseen sacrifices in your own world. Caring for aging parents or sick children in total silence. Supporting operations behind the scenes where absolutely no one sees your effort. Carrying heavy, unnoticed responsibilities at work or in your community. These modern equivalents perfectly mirror Epaphroditus' unseen sacrifice. If you are doing these things, you might feel entirely overlooked by the world, but the powerful argument made by this story validates that your hidden, quiet endurance is incredibly meaningful. Because the absolute ultimate takeaway from this text is this: God sees what others overlook. The source material provides some deep, emotional encouragement here, affirming that your quiet perseverance is never wasted. It makes the case that every hardship you endure in love and every single moment of unseen obedience is noticed. While human history might forget these kinds of quiet sacrifices, the scriptural perspective is that they are recorded with absolute honor and carry lasting, eternal value. As we wrap up this explainer today, I really want to leave you with a final, challenging thought. Where are you being called to quiet endurance today? Take a moment to genuinely reflect on your own hidden sacrifices. Not every act of devotion is public, and not every risk gets a round of applause. But true service, exactly as it's framed by this story, is measured by the willingness to endure for the sake of others. Think about where you can apply that kind of quiet heroism in your own life today.